Dark MAGA mode has been engaged. Welcome, one and all. On the morning show today, I got a lot of things I'm going to cover, including is Tim Walz going to go to prison? And, there needs to be an arrest, and there needs to be one really soon for these crimes of Minnesota that's going on. But what I'm going to start with is Trump meeting with Zelensky yesterday. And there's a reality and the truth of the situation that no one wants to say out loud, which I'll tell you in just a moment. Let me make this turn. Here's the reality with the war with Ukraine and Russia, okay? And this is just the way it is, people, and there's no getting around it. Ukraine has lost the war. They've lost the war. There's no path to victory for Ukraine. There's another reality, which I'll get to in a moment too, but the war has been lost. And Ukraine lost the war months ago when Zelensky first went to the White House to meet with President Trump. And what happened then is, and this is what I'm going to cover when I open up on the morning show today, so you guys are getting a little sneak bit of a preview. President Trump had this mineral deal proposal to Zelensky that Zelensky said he would sign in Ukraine and then refused to sign it when he got to Washington. Probably the Democrats, Pelosi and the rest of them, poisoning his mind. And what that deal was yeah, Russia was going to get to keep land that they had captured and were occupying of Ukraine. However, Ukraine would give mineral deals to the United States. American companies would move there to begin work on whatever's involved in the mineral industry. It's mining, but there's more. And they would move there with American workers and their families. And that would be in eastern Ukraine. That would be a non-military DMZ because Russia would never advance over Americans. And Zelensky came to the White House, refused to sign what he said he would do when he got there, and that's when the war was lost. Okay? And Ukraine, they cannot win the war. They just can't. It's been lost by Ukraine, and it was lost at that it was probably lost with the initial invasion by Russia. So he needs to take President Trump's advice. End the war now. That's it. You know, and if Zelensky refuses a peace deal, this time that'll be it. It'll be it. All of Ukraine will fall. Now, Zelensky will be okay. He and his family will jet off to wherever they're going to retire with all the billions of dollars that they've stolen from the United States Treasury. But Ukraine will fall. So we better make a deal now. That's it. They've lost. I mean, do you agree with that? That Ukraine has lost the war? Yes or no? And I saw these idiot liberals all over X yesterday. Well, how much of the United States would we give up to an invader? Well, we're not in the situation that Ukraine is in. We have a strong military. It wouldn't happen. But to go back in time a little bit, the Civil War, the American Civil War, which I call the Democrat insurrection against the federal government because that's the more accurate description of that war. The Democrat insurrection against the federal government, known as the American Civil War. Lee surrendered to Grant. Right? Now think about that for a second. Lee surrendered to Grant. They still had armies. They were losing. They were pretty wiped out. Like Ukraine is. There were some areas a little more out west that weren't as bad off as the Eastern Confederacy, but Lee surrendered to Grant. And that was it. But notice Jefferson Davis, the Democrat Confederate president, didn't surrender to Lincoln. Right? Lee surrendered to Grant. The general surrendered to the general. And I know some people will dispute this, but that's okay. But Jefferson Davis and the Confederate government were not on board with that. They didn't sign off on that. The Confederate government and Jeff Davis fled when that happened. And Grant knew that the South could not win the war. They could have continued to fight. They still had men. They could have continued to fight, but eventually the entire Confederacy would have been gone. So General Lee made a very wise decision. They shouldn't have started the war in the first place, those Democrat insurrectionists, but they did. And he surrendered because the war was hopeless. Well, that's what's going on right now with Ukraine and Russia. Russia will defeat them. That's it. And you got to do what you got to do. It's called survival. Now, one thing I can't understand. There's a person I haven't talked about in a long time in regards to all of this with Ukraine. I watched a little bit of a video yesterday from Pavlo in Ukraine. As bad as things are for Ukraine, how has Pavlo not gotten drafted into the Ukrainian army? Why is he still doing lifestyle vlogs? What's that about? I haven't talked about Pavlo from Ukraine in a while. I've been watching him since the war began on YouTube. I haven't watched him in a while. But he and his girlfriend are still doing lifestyle vlogs in Ukraine. How did he not get drafted? I'm curious about that. Good analogy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to the radio station today. I'm leaving a little early and heading to the radio station. But that's what I'm going to lead with today on the morning show. So you guys get a little sneak preview. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. My name is Brian, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. My wife got me 2 incredible Christmas gifts. One of them, she got me the Trump watch, which I showed on the stream Friday, and she got me Meta glasses. And I was very resistant to these. Are the Meta glasses, Ray-Bans. They have transitional lenses, so like in the sun, they turn into sunglasses. And I was very resistant to Meta glasses. I needed a new pair of Ray-Bans. My last Ray-Bans, I scratched them mistakenly, stupidly. But I never would have bought these. And my wife got them for me for Christmas, and I opened them up, and I was a little surprised and that she would get them because I did not understand what these Meta glasses do. It's freaking insane. Had a major revelation yesterday because of these glasses. Now, these Meta glasses, I believe they're the most, I would say, technologically, so far as our little gadgets and gizmos, these Meta glasses are the most, I'm not sure the phrase to use. maybe this way, the Meta glasses, so far as a personal gadget that I own, is the most amazing to me since I got the first TiVo, when TiVo came out. What these glasses do is insane, and I was so hesitant and reluctant and really like anti-Meta glasses because I can't stand Zuckerberg. He's such a weirdo and tyrant. What these glasses do is freaking insane, and I don't even hardly know how to do much of it yet. I'm slowly learning how to use them. You know, as an example, the translation technology, right, is out of this world. I can have it translate conversations. It only does a few languages now. Of course, let's see, Spanish, Italian, French. That might be it for the moment, but they'll add more. But I remember when I was in 9th grade in high school and I failed Spanish. My teacher told me, "You're not going to be able to function, Brian." She told me, this was like 85. "Brian, by the year 2000, you are not going to be employable or able to function because you failed my class. You're going to have to learn to speak Spanish by the year 2000. Well, I never learned to speak Spanish, even though I took it a whole bunch of times. I've got 2 semesters in college of Spanish. Got A's, but I don't speak it because, you know, there were no, you know. These glasses with the translation technology, I put on, after I learned about, I didn't know it had them. So I turned it on, and I turned on Telemundo and Univision, and I could freaking watch TV in Spanish. It's like the freaking universal translator from Star Trek. I'm in shock. The phone and speaker capabilities are insane. You know, I took a long ride yesterday, a really long ride, like about an hour ride each way on my MAGA scooter, my Vespa. And I'm going down the road. I'm talking to my wife on the phone through the glasses. She can't even hear the wind. And I can hear her. It's crazy. Crazy. I'm like blown away by it. Once I learn how to do everything, holy smokes. It does a lot more too, but it can read signs. Like if I look at a sign and it's in Spanish, I can tell it to translate the sign for me, and it does it. If I'm looking at a car and ask it what kind of car that is, it'll tell me. I was in a parking lot yesterday. I was making a vlog for my other channel, which you guys should check out. It's in my community section. My daughter and I went to a farmer's market and an Asian grocery store yesterday. My daughter was making, I don't know, some strange dish for dinner. So I went shopping. We went to a farmer's market and then this Asian store. And I looked at this tree. And I asked it to tell me what kind of tree it was, just by looking at it, and it told me. Couldn't freaking believe it. You know, couldn't believe it. I'm sitting here at this, I'm eating at this Asian grocery store where they have this food area. And I'm looking, and I asked it to tell me what I'm looking at. And it told me I'm in a food court with people sitting at tables eating. I was like, what the heck? And it so far as gadgets go, it's without question to me like the most shocking gadget I've gotten since TiVo. Now DVRs, you guys even remember TiVo? DVRs are normal now, but when TiVo first came out, I got one. And when I saw that you could pause or even rewind live television, the first time I did that back then, it was it was witchcraft. Witchcraft. I was like, what the heck? And I remember I was talking about it on the show at the time, and if my grandparents were alive, because they died, they died in the 80s, and I showed them that you could pause and rewind live television, they wouldn't even understand it. They would be like, they wouldn't believe it. They just wouldn't believe that was possible. And I was watching, do you guys ever watch any of these videos on YouTube with, about the time travelers? People that claim to be time travelers. And you ever see the hipster time traveler? I'm watching this video and these mysterious photographs where they're saying they're time travelers. And they're talking about, would you travel to the past or would you travel to the future? And I always thought, well, I would travel to the past. I always kind of thought that. But I'd want to travel to the future too. And when I got these Meta glasses, because I really just started using them yesterday. And when I got these Meta glasses, I realized that if I had a time machine, I would not travel into the future. At least not very far into it. Because what I realized with these Meta glasses is that if I people are like, oh, I want to travel to the future and see what it's like. I realized that if I traveled to the future, I wouldn't understand the future. And I think that's true with most people, even though people don't want to admit that. You would not understand the future. Because things gradually happen, you can kind of keep up. But they're absolutely amazing. I know, it's technology. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. It's cold. It is 66 degrees in South Florida right now, which is pretty darn cold for Florida. I'm coming up on the Mar-a-Lago exit soon. The road to Mar-a-Lago where Zelensky was yesterday. I'll show you. I'll show you the road Zelensky drove on yesterday. But did you see what the most searched name was on Google this year in 2025? It was Taylor Swift. It wasn't Ariana Grande or that weirdo she's in Wicked with. Charlie Kirk. The most searched name in 2025 on Google search results, Charlie Kirk. Is that amazing or what? That's absolutely amazing. Yep. I'll show you when I get to the road to Mar-a-Lago. It's there's a road directly from the airport to Mar-a-Lago, which is a real quick drive, 5-minute drive, really. 10 minutes most from the airport to Mar-a-Lago. Not a lot of cars on the road today for a Monday. I know it's another holiday week, but don't people still have to work, go back to work today from Christmas? Or a lot of people off? I don't know. But there's a lot fewer cars on the road than on a normal Monday, even at 4:30 in the morning. No, but Zelensky has got to accept that the war is lost and cannot be won. That's it. Ukraine's going to be a smaller country than it was. And, you know, Russia and Ukraine are always going to be fighting one another. And unless there's a major American civilian presence through contracts and such in Ukraine, like President Trump with the mineral deal, I don't even know if that's going to be part of Ukraine where the minerals are. Will that even be a part of Ukraine in the future? With all the conquered lands Russia has? Without a large U.S. civilian population working and living in Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine not only will always be fighting, eventually Russia will get Ukraine. Unless Europe decides they want to have the Third World War over Ukraine. And I got to tell you, if Europe goes that way, we should bail out. They want to start a third European World War, they're on their own. As far as I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, you know. But eventually, unless Zelensky makes a really good deal with Trump, to Trump's liking, Ukraine will eventually fall to Russia, even with a peace agreement. And that mineral deal would have set up a wall of American protection. Kind of like the DMZ in Korea, but with civilians, not a military force. Brilliant idea Trump had. But Zelensky wouldn't do it. Pride, ego. I get it. I mean, I wouldn't want to give up, you know, part of the country either, but you got to do what you got to do. If you don't give up part of it, you're going to give up all of it. The war has been lost by Ukraine. It is unwinnable. They can only prolong the suffering. I'm not saying that's a good thing. It's just reality. Yeah, make sure you subscribe, guys, if you're new to the channel. Oh, I thought I was further up the road than I was. Okay, we're just a couple miles away from the Mar-a-Lago exit. I'm on I-95. I'll flip the camera around and show you when we get there. All right, we got about a mile to go to the Mar-a-Lago exit. Hope everyone had a great Christmas. I'll be streaming all week, including New Year's Day, guys. I don't know if I'll do the radio show on New Year's Day, but I'll definitely be live streaming on YouTube. I haven't been up at midnight on New Year's Eve, and I can't even remember. I always fall asleep. Okay, I want to flip the camera around. We're a mile away. The road from the airport to Mar-a-Lago is called Donald John Trump Boulevard, but they've not changed the signs yet. Even though it changed about a year ago, it's Southern Boulevard. So he says A1A closed. That's because the president's there. A1A is the road along the beach. It goes right in front of Mar-a-Lago. That's the exit, Southern Boulevard. And this bridge I'm going to go under, Zelensky drove over this bridge twice yesterday, to and from Mar-a-Lago and to the airport. And the airport is right to the left of the bridge. I mean, it's right there is the airport. That's the exit. Okay. Southern Boulevard, Palm Beach Airport, Palm Beach International Airport. Air Force One is there right now. Right to my left, a couple blocks away. Zelensky was there yesterday. That's right. But the security around Trump in this second term is so much higher because of Butler and the golf course. And A1A is the beach road. That road leads to A1A. So you take that road right there. You're 5 minutes from Mar-a-Lago. You drive right by it, and the road turns into A1A, which is the beach road. And it's closed off by the Secret Service. You used to be able to drive there, walk there, everything. But the security is tight. And when he moves, forget about it. The golf course is right over here, too, down the street from the airport. If you watch my documentary here on my channel with the following the path of the Palm Beach golf course assassin, I show you it's right, the golf course is right there at the airport. And that's only one of 3 golf courses the president has down here. He's got one in Jupiter, he's got that one in Palm Beach, and then Doral in Miami. But no, Zelensky, I mean, give me a yes or no. Do you agree, yes or no, that Ukraine has lost the war? And I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just, I say yes. It's just a reality. Yeah. I mean, and the only reason they're not wiped out is because Trump's holding Putin back a little bit. It always feels good to drive by Mar-a-Lago, especially when the president's home and Air Force One is parked over here. But security is so tight. I can't go by there now. The security is so tight. If I rolled by there at 4:30 in the morning, I'd be surrounded by Secret Service and cops. They'd be like, what the heck are you doing over here? And if you watch I did a vlog of President Trump coming home on a Friday. And it was completely insane. I mean, the president drove right by me in the Beast, the president limo, and it was going full speed. That's how, he used to just coast, just idle by to wave at people. Won't do that anymore. They don't do that anymore. It's too dangerous. I will be taking live calls, by the way, on the show this morning. If you're new, whenever I'm in the studio, I'm taking live calls. So you can call me no matter where you're watching. The toll-free number will be in the chat when the show's going on. Does not seem like Monday to me, though, I must say. It actually seems like a Friday to me. I don't know why. I mean, there's so few cars on the road. I'm in shock at how few cars are on the road. This is insane. So I'm gonna lead today with Ukraine has lost the war. We'll talk about that. And Nick Shirley, I mean, my goodness. How many people that they said seen the video? 100 million have seen his investigative reporting from Minnesota. We need to see some action from Bondi and Kash Patel. And I got to tell you, Tim Walz is up to his eyeballs in it. Oh, I got a mile to go and I'm way on the wrong side of it. I got to get over a bunch of lanes. You know, I'm wondering that that guy with the mask who was a Democrat hired by Tim Walz that assassinated those Democrats in Minnesota last year. Was that in 24 or 25, guys? Did that have anything to do with this fraud operation they've got going on in Minnesota? What do you guys think? There's so much money involved. Makes you wonder, huh? Yeah, it was this year. Makes you wonder. I would be surprised if it wasn't. Does anyone remember what he told the lady? Who he said sent him? Does anybody remember? I do. Let's see. Yeah. A lot of people need to go to prison. And Tim Walz very well may. Oh, way more than Walz, yeah. Walz right now, maybe they're going to try to make him the fall guy. I put these things, I was talking about the meta glasses earlier, And, you know, I have 20/20 vision except up close, right? I wear like readers, right? You know, when you see me wearing glasses, typically, they're just reading glasses. I got a pair in my pocket. And so so I put in here these stick-on bifocals that I never heard of until yesterday. I don't know if you can see them in there. See them in there? You put a drop of water in there and they stick to the lenses. And I can't quite get, I just am wearing them for the first, I mean, I can see with them, I can read the chat, which I can't read without them, unless I've got the other readers on. It's working. But it's a little distract. I can't get used to them. Well, I don't know if I can get used to them. I haven't gotten used to them yet. Maybe is the thing to do. It is not manufactured division. Minnesota is one big crime op. I mean, look at Ilhan Omar has been purging his company's websites from the names of people they do business with. So Ilhan Omar's husband obviously believes that the feds are coming in, and he's doing the modern equivalent of shredding everything before they get there. He's destroying evidence. I wouldn't be surprised if we woke up one morning out of the blue and find out that Ilhan Omar and her husband have left the country. Would you be surprised? I think she could leave. She could flee. Yeah. Bleach bit. The tongue twister beach blit. Yep. Make sure you subscribe, guys, if you are new. Yeah, so these stick-on bifocal lenses, they're just a little distracting. They do work. I mean, they do work, but it's just a little strange. You could just peel them in and out. You want to be surprised? Yeah. I mean, they can't even deport the fake Maryland man. How are they going to deport Ilhan Omar, right? But I could see her fleeing. I don't know where she'd go. I mean, do they have mansions in Somalia? Would she go back to Somalia? She'd have to go somewhere where they wouldn't extradite her. You know, and you know the thing about criminals, one of the things that criminals do, I've heard a lot of cops talk about this. Criminals assume you know everything, and what you know is very little compared to everything they've done. You know? But I'll tell you, the Minnesota financial scandal could very likely be one of the biggest issues in the midterm elections that bring us a MAGA victory, you know, because this is snowball effect is happening. It's getting bigger and bigger all the time. No doubt about it. So it took me about 35 minutes to get here. That's not bad. The drive home is a lot longer because there's a lot of traffic. We got the biggest victory ever last year with the election of President Trump to his second and non-consecutive term. That's an amazing victory. Yeah, I'm wearing my Charlie Kirk hoodie today. It's got Charlie on the back of it. The Democrats are the one that need a victory. Now, I'm going to show this later, too, but I don't know if she's here. Hold on, let me pull this up. Is Annette in the chat? Annette, I'm going to show this on the main live stream, too. I want to make sure Annette sees this. Annette sent me a great, just MAGA Christmas basket that had all kinds of cool stuff in it for my whole family. Just some really good, and it has some gift certificates in it. And on Saturday, we took one of the gift certificates. My wife and I went and had lunch at Raising Cane's, courtesy of Annette, which is actually pretty good, Raising Cane's. It was really good. They have such good food there. So Annette, if you're in there, thanks for the Christmas basket. And I'll make sure to thank her on the main stream today. And everything that came in the basket was amazing. Let's see. Now they open in 10 minutes. Well, listen, guys, I'm going to take off and read a little bit of news before I go on, but I'll see you on the next stream, all right? Subscribe.